do walk and talk. Like, what the hell is going on?
What the fuck, jullie? What the fuck? Oh, dat is toch niet mijn auto of zo, hè?
When 4 urban explorers returned to an abandoned campsite they'd visited safely before, they never imagined they'd be hunted through the forest by a woman wielding an axe, screaming death threats as she chased them into the darkness. What was captured on camera that night became one of the most terrifying encounters ever filmed by explorers. Siaz is a Dutch urban explorer who specializes in documenting abandoned locations. 3 friends had no idea that this night would turn into a nightmare. Deep inside a forest where no one could hear them, they would become victims of a terrifying attack.
Pak hem op. Echt. Oh, man.
As soon as they stepped out of their car, they heard loud barking coming from deep within the trees. At the entrance, a fallen tree blocked the path. Written across it was a disturbing message saying the area was private. Behind it stood another sign that simply said, "Beware." Chiaz later explained that none of these warnings were there the last time he visited. Although they felt uneasy, the 3 friends stepped over the tree and continued deeper into the forest. Soon after, they heard a strange creaking sound echo around them.
Hallo?
Ja,
Mogen wij hier wandelen?
hoort je het?
Hallo?
Kun je de wind ook gaan, ja.
Schijn eens,
Oh.
But here, they didn't realize someone was silently watching them and continued exploring.
Ik
Maat, ik hoor voetstappen.
hoor van alles hier. Dit is zo fucking eng. Oh, maat.
As they walked deeper into the forest along what appeared to be a normal hiking trail, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. Worried that they might be trespassing, they tried to find another way in. They followed a nearby trail, hoping it would be safer. However, they soon encountered another barrier. First, they heard loud screaming from the forest, sound that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. A scream. It came from the darkness ahead, and it was getting closer.
What the fuck, jullie? What the fuck? Oh, dat is toch niet mijn auto of zo, hè? Hier, maat. Hier wordt letterlijk iemand gemarteld. Hier wordt letterlijk iemand gemarteld in dat bos.
Later, while they stopped to adjust their lights, something terrifying happened. Siaz looked toward where they'd parked his car. Behind it, a woman, dressed in white, suddenly appeared from the darkness.
Hallo? Hallo? Hallo?
She was holding an axe and walking quickly toward them. The woman seemed disturbed, almost as if she were in a trance.
Hallo? What the fuck? What the fuck? Hey!
The group scattered, 4 people running in different directions through pitch-black forest. Behind them, the woman's screams echoed through the trees. The woman's screams echoed behind them as she hacked through the bushes with her axe.
What?
Then he called the police. His voice was shaking as he said he was with his friends in an abandoned bungalow park and told them about the whole situation.
Hallo? Ja, we zitten hier in een bos in de Centerlo. We zijn hier in een bos en dat is een verlaten bungalowpark. En ineens komt er een man met een mes of zoiets op ons.
Later, the police arrived and the woman was taken into custody. When they reached his vehicle, the woman had found his car. She'd torn the license plate completely off, dented the bumper, and then most disturbingly, she'd hidden the license plate somewhere in the forest and waited by the vehicle.
Hier blijven.
Maar wat is het?
Je gaat hier blijven.
Ofwel moet ik nemen mijn vrouw mee, ofwel moet
It took 6 officers to subdue her. Even surrounded by police with weapons, she fought, screaming, refusing to surrender. When they finally got her on the ground, Ciaz stood a few meters away, camera still rolling, and what he captured in that moment would become the image burned into his memory forever.
Nee, nee, dat kan ik niet doen. Dat kan ik niet doen. Nee.
Hey, gedaan. Nu is gedaan, ja? Pak die lamp. Pak die lamp. Pak die lamp.
Wacht eens. Deze collega, ik moet het laten zien. Er is iemand die heel erg in mijn ogen aan het zien. En u had beloofd dat dat niet ging gebeuren. Dat is diep.
The woman sat on the forest floor, surrounded by armed police, and she looked directly into Ciaz's camera. The police didn't arrest her, didn't take her into custody. They identified her as Andrea, been squatting illegally in the abandoned campsite. She'd claimed it as her territory, built the barriers, posted the warnings, and defended it with an axe. The group fled as soon as police released them. Ciaz drove with trembling hands, replaying the night over and over. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've captured any encounters like this and would like to share through our channel, send it over to darkencounters666@gmail.com. Our next case comes from urban explorer Urbex Hill, who returned to Robert Fulton Elementary School, an abandoned building in one of Cleveland, Ohio's most dangerous neighborhoods, and what he captured on camera during this exploration proves that some of the most terrifying things you can encounter in abandoned places aren't ghosts, but the living people hiding inside them. 3 years ago, he saw a warning on a chalkboard saying, "Don't explore alone." And a year ago, he found a man living inside, but 2 weeks later, his curiosity brought him back alone. This is what he recorded.
About a year ago, one night when I was exploring this school, I stumbled upon a man living in a room blocked off by desks. This initial encounter revealed signs that people have been living in this school for a long time. This was evident by the message on the chalkboard left by explorers that read, "Don't explore alone." This confirmed that potentially dangerous people have been living in this abandoned school for a while.
While moving through the school, Urbex Hill starts hearing sounds that make him stop and listen. Distant talking and what sounds like footsteps.
I heard something.
Urbex Hill continues exploring cautiously and comes across a door with "Keep Out" written on it, and he decides to check what's inside. A desk set up with a fresh water bottle, personal belongings, clothing, and clear evidence that someone is actively living in this room right now, indicating whoever lives here was recently present or might even still be nearby. He then went deeper into the school and discovers a fallout shelter area filled with abandoned desks. At this moment in the footage, he captures an unknown figure of a man walking in the background that he doesn't notice first. He won't realize until later, when reviewing this footage, he captured the exact same man who was living in that room during his previous exploration, which means this person recognized him and had been tracking his movement through the building.
Really quick, I just wanted to point out that I had to place my camera on this desk right here because I had to use both of my hands to make it past all this junk. And that's when I captured something on camera that I didn't even notice.
The sounds get clearer that somebody is definitely down there with him, and he can hear them talking, which means there are multiple people in this abandoned school at night.
All these desks behind. Somebody's down here.
He decides to move, and then something happens that changes everything. A person with a flashlight turns around, and in that brief moment, he clearly sees a gun in their hand.
Here's one more thing I need to point out. Right as that person with the flashlight turned around, I could see a gun in their hand.
He immediately realizes these aren't just homeless people or scrappers, but potentially dangerous criminals hiding from police or using this building for illegal activity, and they definitely don't want him there.
They could just be squatters or even scrappers. They could even be criminals hiding from the police. I don't know. But one thing I know for sure, they didn't want me there because they started shooting a gun as I ran away.
Urbex Hill starts running to escape the building, and as he's fleeing, the people inside start shooting a gun. And you can hear the shots firing as he runs for his life, trying to get out of this abandoned school where armed people have been living. After escaping, when he reviews his footage and found terrifying discovery in the footage. His camera captured the shadow and feet of a man wearing shoes walking behind frosted glass in a room across from where he was, which means while he was focused on exploring and recording, somebody was silently following him through the building, watching his every move from adjacent rooms, and he had absolutely no idea it was happening. What makes this absolutely chilling is the realization that both times Urbex Hill explored this building at night, he was being watched and followed by people living there without him knowing. And the camera captured evidence of them tracking him that he only discovered later when reviewing the footage in safety. What do you think? Would you ever explore abandoned buildings alone After seeing this, let us know in the comments.
Out on the trail. It's the middle of the night. I was down in my tent, not asleep, kind of just like lying there staring at the tent walls, listening to all the sounds, and then I heard somebody down by the shelter. So
What was supposed to be a peaceful Thanksgiving camping trip quickly turned into a nightmare when one hiker realized he wasn't alone. Someone had been following him through the wilderness, leaving behind a trail of disturbing messages for him to find. On the 19th of December 2021, the day before Thanksgiving, Phil, from the YouTube channel Hike Slam, headed out for an overnight camping trip along Virginia's Appalachian Trail.
Hi, Phil here from Hike Slam. Today I'm gonna hike into the woods a little bit here in Virginia and do an overnight. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be cold tonight, but I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
His plan was simple. Hike to Matt's Creek shelter, set up camp, enjoy a fire by the river. But as Phil made his way deeper into the woods, about 30 minutes into his hike, Phil spotted trash scattered along the trail. When he stopped to investigate, what he found sent the first chill down his spine.
As I was walking up, I saw some trash in the trail, and I came across this. So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat, some writing on some of this garbage. This one. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Song lyrics. Other weird things.
Song lyrics, scrawled on beer cans in thick marker. But not just any lyrics. These particular words carried an ominous weight in the isolated wilderness.
Other weird things. Well, hopefully I don't get murdered out here. That would totally ruin my day. Well, let's keep going.
Phil brushed it off at first. He figured it was probably just something a random camper had written. But as he kept hiking, one message refused to leave his mind. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. The words stuck with him, and the farther he went, the more unsettling they began to feel. Then, less than a mile from his planned campsite, Phil's nightmare escalated.
The weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here.
A freshly killed duck, deliberately placed on the trail, and next to it, a long, rambling note.
And there's a dead duck here. A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. Alright. Kind of creepy.
Whoever left this had been here recently, possibly within the last hour.
There's a fire down there. Okay.
Through the trees, Phil spotted smoke rising. Then he heard it. The unmistakable crackle of a camp. Someone was down by the river.
I'm almost at the shelter, which was going to be my camp spot for the night. That scene back there really freaked me out though. The sun's going down. I'm going to get to the shelter, reassess the situation, and see what I think about this whole deal. I'm a little out of breath because I'm trying to put as much distance between me and that sketchy camp spot back there as fast as possible.
As Phil approached the shelter area, he saw him, a lone man sitting on a rock by the riverside camp, near a tarp by a burning fire. The same person who'd left the hangman lyrics, the dead animal, the cryptic notes. But before Phil could decide what to do, he encountered something that made the situation even more disturbing.
Okay, well that was really weird. So as I was hiking toward the shelter, still considering what I was going to do for the night, these two women were hiking in the opposite direction. They had a little dog with them. They asked if I had seen the guy who was leaving the notes. I said he has a campsite down by the river because I could hear the fire going. I could see where his tarp was set up. He was actually just sitting on a rock down there.
2 women, visibly shaken. They'd passed the man's campsite and were desperate to get back to their car.
They were shocked I was still considering camping out there, but I decided that I didn't really feel like it, and plus they said that they were kind of freaked out and asked if I would go with them and walk past his campsite so they could get back to their car. So I did.
Think about that for a moment. These women were so frightened that they asked a complete stranger to escort them past this man's camp. In the wilderness, Phil made a decision. He abandoned his original campsite and hiked back to his truck. But instead of going home, he drove to the opposite side of the road and started hiking north on a different section of the Appalachian Trail, hoping to put enough distance between himself and whoever was leaving those messages. The new destination, John's Hollow Shelter, only 2 miles from the original spot, but on the opposite side of the road.
All right, so I'm on the Appalachian Trail. Just in a different part, headed the opposite direction. So there's John's Hollow Shelter in Point 6. That looks like where I'll probably end up for the night. Hopefully there's no maniacs there.
He finally reached John's Hollow Shelter, celebrated Thanksgiving. The night felt peaceful at last.
What a crazy day. Oh my gosh. So I had the one campsite in mind, the Mats Creek Shelter. And based on the crazy notes I saw and the dead animals and, I don't know, running into those women on the trail who were scared, I'm glad I made the decision not to camp down there because I would have just been freaked out the whole time. This is only about 2 miles from that other campsite, but it's on the other side of the road. Still on the Appalachian Trail, but far enough away that I feel safe, which is good.
Phil felt safe. But that sense of security was about to shatter. Almost every Appalachian Trail shelter has a logbook, a journal, where hikers record their trail names, experiences, and messages for future travelers. Phil decided to check out John's Hollow's log. At first, the entries were typical trail names, dated passages from months ago. Then Phil turned to the recent entries, and his blood ran cold.
Holy crap. Wait a second. Adjust the camera here. This writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here. Let's see if this makes any sense.
The same handwriting, the same rambling style. The man from the Riverside camp had been here, at this shelter, recently.
Sorry if the lighting's bad. I'm just gonna see what it says. Cleaned the outhouse. Picked up trash. Collected wood for others. See Charlie Daniels' Simple Man lyrics, which I used in 2013 Facebook post, and note the rope I found with the silicone sealant can 2 miles south of that. I left it on a stump. In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail. What the heck?
This man had been in jail, and he was referencing objects he'd left along the trail years ago. Objects Phil might have passed without realizing their significance.
In solitary confinement, I figured the following out. Refer to Isaiah 28:15 through 9. Here in early 2017, Trump, Nebo, allowed Obama to have the special use of the Air Force One for a trip to Palm Springs.
The entries spiraled, Bible verses mixed with political conspiracy theories, references to Obama and Trump.
This is the same ramblings from the guy that was on the other side of the river. That's kind of scary. Kind of weird. Those women down there said they were going to call the police on the guy. You're falling faster. Obey your master. The Metallica lyrics. What the heck, man? Once I came across that guy's writing, it was so weird. It was like, I felt like I don't know, the plot continues or something. You open it up and it's like, that writing looks familiar. Oh my gosh, it's the same writing as that guy that's 3 miles away that
Phil had hiked miles away from the original campsite specifically to avoid this person. And yet here was proof that the man had been to this exact shelter within the past few days. Unnerved, but trying to stay calm, Phil decided to turn in for the night. He returned to the shelter to grab his remaining gear. That's when he noticed something he'd missed earlier.
Dude, what the hell is going on here? I'm in the shelter. I'm packing up my stuff to go into my tent. And they have these things that they put in shelters a lot to hang your food bag from, so like mice can't get to it. Look at this one. What do you know? Same handwriting as the one in the book, and that garbage on the trail from that same dude. So it says, watch out for yeet mouse. The dead do walk and talk.
The dead do walk and talk. Those words hung in the cold air. Phil was alone in the mountains, miles from help. And whoever wrote that message knew these trails intimately, knew which shelters had mouse hangers, which sections of trail were isolated, where to leave his cryptic warnings.
Like, what the hell is going on? Alright, I'm going to go into my tent now.
Phil went into his tent, put out the campfire, and made sure all of his gear was secure. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't fall asleep. Every small moment, even crack of a branch, made his heart race. He couldn't shake the feeling that whoever had been leaving those messages was somewhere out there, watching him, slowly making their way toward his campsite. And watched till the end to know his instincts here was not wrong.
So I'm in my tent now. Fire's been put out. All my gear's in here. I'm a little on edge. I keep watching the hill behind the shelter to see if I see a headlamp coming down there. Yeah, I don't know. I still have my shoes on. I guess in case I have to run.
He kept his shoes on. That detail speaks volumes. Phil wasn't just being cautious, he was genuinely afraid.
Man, I think this is a combination of the weird dude down the trail and his cryptic writings that I keep finding everywhere, and also in the woods, your mind plays games with you. Every sound, every light is something to be concerned about.
Hours passed. Phil lay on top of his sleeping bag, staring at the tent walls, his ears strained for any sound that didn't belong.
The crack and crunch I hear outside of an animal walking by, or a branch breaking. I don't know, it's just like, it's freaking me out.
But Phil's instincts were screaming otherwise, and those instincts were about to be proven right.
Okay, I'm out on the trail. It's the middle of the night. I was down in my tent, not asleep, kind of just like lying there staring at the tent walls, listening to all the sounds, and then I heard somebody down by the shelter. So at first I had to convince myself it wasn't what I thought I heard, but it definitely was somebody down there. So I didn't even wait to see or go down to see who it was, see if it was like a bunch of teenage girls or something. I don't know. I was just like, I am getting out of here. So I packed up all my stuff, and I packed it up very quickly. I don't think I left anything behind.
Phil didn't investigate, didn't call out to identify who it was. His survival instinct kicked in pack everything, leave immediately.
And I just walked past. As I walked past, I did look. It did look like a single guy hanging out in the shelter. He had a headlamp on.
A lone man sat inside the shelter at 2 a.m. in the exact spot where Phil had been camping just hours earlier. Phil hurried down the trail and reached his truck, threw in his gear, and drove away without ever looking back. But one question still remains. Who was that man? Was he the one behind the disturbing messages, or just an innocent hiker who showed up late? No one knows. Phil never returned to that part of the trail, and looking back, that may have been the best decision he made. Even today, mysterious messages are still said to appear in shelter logs along that stretch of the Appalachian Trail, out in the wilderness. It's not always the animals you should fear. Sometimes it's the people who know the woods better than you do. Before we continue, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've captured any encounters like this and would like to share through our channel, send it over to darkencounters666@gmail.com. A hiker exploring a forest in Poland discovered an abandoned house where everything was left behind, like the owners fled in a hurry. And when he went inside to film, What started as documenting an abandoned property turned into him literally jumping out a window to escape something that was trapping him inside. He notices an inverted cross hanging above a doorway, which in many beliefs is considered a sign of something dark or demonic, and this immediately sets the tone for what he's about to experience. He continued exploring the silence, won't stay for long, when a music box started playing completely on its own. A barrel organ music box suddenly starts playing with nobody touching it. He further goes to check what's making the sound and finds the music box actively playing, and he turns it off manually, thinking maybe it just got triggered somehow. While exploring, he sees photographs throughout the house showing that the family who lived here was well settled and had a normal life. But clearly something haunting happened that was so disturbing they abandoned everything and fled, leaving their belongings and memories behind. He continues exploring deeper into the house when suddenly an object crashes down from above without warning. And this is when everything starts going terribly wrong for him, because he's about to realize he's not alone, and something doesn't want him there. Right after the object falls, his leg suddenly gets stuck in something, and he can't pull it out no matter how hard he tries. And you can hear the panic in his voice as he's desperately trying to free himself. And when he finally manages to yank his leg free and tries to run toward the exit, the door slams shut and locks from the outside, as if someone invisible just locked it to trap him inside. And we listen again. Then the same music box that he had turned off earlier suddenly starts playing again. He literally jumps through a window to get out of that house and runs away from the property. And that's where the footage ends, with him having barely escaped whatever was trapping him inside that abandoned building. Now, you'd think that's already terrifying enough, but when the video was posted online and people started watching it closely and leaving comments, two viewers discovered something in the footage that the hiker didn't even notice while it was happening. And what they found makes this whole incident even more disturbing. One user commented there's someone looking through the window and let replay that exact timestamp. You can actually see someone or something visible looking through the door and watching him, which means While he thought he was alone exploring this abandoned house, something was already there, observing him from the very start.